This is the Buzz Adams Morning Show podcast. Barstool Talk Daily. Except it's really early in the morning and no booze. For the most part.
How bad?
That follow Monday home, blockade the door, and burn the house down with Monday still inside.
Okay, I guess that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Can't somebody say, hey, let's be positive?
Let's try to be positive.
And here's a thought.
You're still alive.
And you're still alive.
Every day above ground is a good day.
What about coal miners?
God, you're a douche.
Let's start the show.
Get ready.
All right, here we go, everybody.
Here we go. Now.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show is back.
Here we go.
On 95.5 KLAQ.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Good morning. It is good to be here. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Monday morning, getting things started after the 420 weekend. And I drove by the area kind of, right across the Texas state line in New Mexico, across from Sunland Park Racetrack Casino. Mm-hmm. We've got to decide on a name for that place. They had parties going at like every dispensary. How many dispensaries do you think there are?
By now?
20. I mean, just in that area.
Yeah, about 20. Probably
20.
15 to 20, yeah.
And it seems like there's probably going to be more, but so we've got a couple of different nicknames for that.
The Green Mile.
The Green Mile's a good one.
What's yours?
I want to suggest New Amsterdam.
That's a hospital in New York City that a TV show is based. No, well, there's a show called New Amsterdam, but that's funny.
Let me get a look at El Paso weather and the golfers forecast brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. You can set up all your tee times and reservations online at painteddunes.com. That's painteddunes.com. Today's going to be sunny and it's going to be 86. We're going to have a few days here where it's going to toy around with being right around 90 degrees. Today, upper 80s for the high temperature, sunshine, and look at this, winds light. Really nice day for golf. I'm going to stamp it with an A+.
All right.
Tomorrow, sunny. We may cross that 90-degree threshold tomorrow afternoon. Get up into the low 90s for your Tuesday. Otherwise, sunshine. Be a little windier, though, especially in the afternoon. Once you get past around noon tomorrow, you're going to look at winds 15 to 20 miles an hour in the afternoon. Partly cloudy and not as windy on Wednesday, 88 for the high. And then we're looking for some very high winds to be coming through on Thursday, looking at 20 to 30 mile an hour winds Thursday. It's not going to cool things off, though. It's going to keep it up there in the upper 80s, it looks like, for Thursday. El Paso weather brought to you by Painted Dunes Desert Golf Course. Set up all your tee times and reservations online at painteddunes.com or call the Pro Shop for tee times. Pro Shop number is 915-821-2122. That's 915-821-2122. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our Monday show. It is great to have you here. Coming up a little bit later, in about an hour, the author of the book The Game, which is all about like seduction techniques, Neil Strauss is going to be on.
I would say it's part that it's also mostly autobiography. It's just a good story about himself that he talks about from going to from zero to hero.
Well, he's doing a podcast called To Die For with a self-claimed former Russian sex pot spy that would work for Putin. And her deal was to get people to fall in love with her, compromise them for secrets.
What's her name? She was in the news.
Yulia Rosa.
Yes.
Why was she in the news?
For that.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, she and Neil Strauss are doing a podcast together, and they're both going to be on to talk about that. The pickup artist community, Neil Strauss's book was kind of like the Bible for that entire movement.
It was the popularized version. It was the one, again, autobiographical.
You know what I call it?
I only say it because I was one of the dudes in 2007 who
read The Game when it came out?
Picked up The Game and watched the pickup artist reality show with Mystery on VH1. So
I watched that stupid show.
It was awesome.
Can't believe what a bunch of douchebags. And that's what I call the game. 4 douchebags to pick up other douchebags.
Well, I would be curious to see whether any of that still works. You know, people have picked up on the terms negging. You know, girls know what that means now. Peacocking. I mean, everybody is aware of it. So I'm curious to see if he still even, does some of that stuff.
Well, we're going to have Neil Strauss on coming up in just about an hour. Looking elsewhere. The House of Representatives on Saturday.
Are you going to pick are you just going to do my news for me? You're just going to pick up my news?
No, I thought this was a pretty big story.
It is. That's what I'm going to bring up later in news.
All right, leave that to you then. Joanna's going to have the Hollywood Cheesemate, and Nico's going to do news today. And no intern Alberto?
No intern Alberto.
Correct. That was correct. Yeah.
I was going to ask you, Joanna, do you miss us?
Do you miss me in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I miss my little studio over here.
You liked being by yourself.
My lady board.
Mm-hmm.
I think she missed me.
Your lady board?
The board.
It's a woman?
The control.
It's a lady, yes.
All machines are women. You never heard that? Ships are women.
I knew ships are women.
Much like women, I push these buttons every day.
Ah, nice.
Joanna, what's coming up on the Hollywood Cheesemate today?
Oh, right. I forgot I have to do that. Giancarlo Esposito. Great actor. I think
Gus
we can
Fring.
Amazing guy, right?
Also bugging out in Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing.
Just came out. I just saw him in the movie Abigail. Great movie.
All right.
Giancarlo Esposito was once so broke that he contemplated arranging his own murder in an effort to help his children financially. This was all before he got that role on Breaking Bad.
Oh.
That changed his life. And we'll have more on that.
All right. We'll have that coming up. Now, Nico, you've been ready to go. What's coming up in the news
we passed
today?
$95 billion in aid for Ukraine and Israel. Oh, and TikTok is going to be banned.
Oh, TikTok is on that.
Okay, so that might be the big takeaway for some people, and I get that. TikTok is extraordinarily popular, and part of the bill is TikTok's going to be banned.
Yeah. It still has to be passed by the Senate.
Why don't they just do this? Figure out how TikTok works and just rip off TikTok and call it American TikTok.
Yeah, just rip off what.
I mean, the Chinese have been stealing enough of our tech secrets for long
It's
enough,
called
right?
Instagram Reels.
I've heard there's a version called Instagram Reels, but that it's not nearly as popular.
I heard there's a version. You old man.
Well, I honestly,
it's a feature of Instagram now and Facebook.
Then why don't people just use that if
they are?
Oh, those people must be popping some champagne corks over at who owns Insta? Meta?
Yeah, Meta.
Yeah,
but a lot of
Zuckerberg.
those people who'd put the reels, like, they're all like, oh, go to my TikTok to see more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, people used to say go to my MySpace to see more.
Oh, MySpace.
Oh, you know what's funny, Joanna? I was just having a conversation with somebody about that. I think maybe it was Raymond Ortha. We were talking about, let's bring MySpace back.
Hell yeah, let's bring MySpace back.
Have a top 3.
Only a top 3?
Or top 5. What was it? Top 10?
It was a top 8.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell's that?
It's your top 8 friends. And so to make it into that list was a big deal.
I never had one of those either.
MySpace?
That doesn't surprise me.
Were you a Friendster kind of guy?
I don't know what that is. I know what Facebook is. All right, we have a lot coming up today in Sound Clips. We're going to find out about this $95 billion package that funds Ukraine.
That's not all. There's
funds
more.
Israel and bans TikTok. What? There's more?
Yeah, right as I said that, my computer freezes.
Isn't that always the way?
Yep.
All right, we're going to come back here and have Today in Sound Clips on the way in just a moment.
The Daily Calendar.
Today, April 22nd.
Happy Earth Day. Thank the Earth. Wear a flower crown, turn off the AC, recycle, and be a good human. Or just be a human and give in to pinups and jelly beans, because it's Pinup Day and Jelly Bean Day. It's also the Jewish holiday Passover, as in pass over those jelly beans. Happy birthday, actor Jack Nicholson, Shavo Odagian from System of a Down, Peter Frampton, and Machine Gun Kelly.
And that's your Daily Calendar.
Hey, it's Double G. Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
8069. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Oh, we're back. Buzz is back.
Hey, right on, Buzz.
Buzz in the Morning Show. 95.5 The Q.
Hey, it's another week of cash codes. We'll be giving them out hourly starting at 8:15. That's when you hear our first cash code of the day. Now, every time you hear one of these code numbers, go and enter it on the KLAQ mobile app. Look for the money bag icon that says Go Fund Yourself, because that's what it's all about, winning money. Every hour we draw randomly and give one winner $100 per hour. So that's $1,000 every day. And you could win the grand prize money. Of course, that is $30,000. Yes, you could still be the $30,000 winner in Go Fund Yourself on 95.5 KLAQ.
Keep it here and listen for this.
Go fund yourself.
So we'll have our first Go Fund Yourself PIN number coming up at 8:15 this morning. KLAQ, yes.
Well, no.
KLAQ invites you to the return of Cool Canyon Nights presented by Westar.
Oh, cool.
Each Thursday starting May the 9th, join KLAQ at McKelligan Canyon Amphitheater for a night of free music under the stars. Opening night features Mariachi Los Arrieros on the main stage and Tony Ramirez on the El Paso Community College patio stage. And that is May 9th for the first one. A limited number of VIP tickets starting at $20 are on sale for the series now. Everything you need to know about Cool Canyon Nights you can find at our website, KLAQ.com. Go to KLAQ.com for everything you need to know about Cool Canyon Nights and the entire season.
And now, today in sound clips.
All of the day's news with accompanying sound bites and actualities. The House of Representatives took action on a foreign aid package on Saturday with an addition. The House approved a $95 billion aid package that would include sending $60.8 billion to Ukraine, $26 billion to Israel, $8.2 billion to Taiwan, and the bill would force ByteDance to sell TikTok or see TikTok banned in the U.S. The bill, as passed by the House, would force TikTok's parent company to sell within 9 months of the bill becoming law, or TikTok will be banned inside the United States. Appearing on Face the Nation yesterday, Senator Mark Warner, chairman of the Intelligence Committee, made the case for legislation forcing the sale of TikTok or to have TikTok banned in the U.S.
There is plenty of creativity on TikTok. There are people that make their living off of TikTok as social influencers. I don't want that to go away. I simply want to make sure that the individuals pulling the strings are not ultimately functionaries of the Communist Party of China.
All right, Senator Mark Warner talking a little bit more about the timeline of the potential TikTok ban.
The timeline of giving this can be a complicated transaction. To give it up to a full year, I think just from a business standpoint, makes sense.
The bill has Senate buy-in, and President Joe Biden said last month that if this bill were passed, he would sign it, including the provision about TikTok.
Do you still support banning TikTok? Would you sign that bill?
If they pass it, I'll sign it.
Okay, so it looks like the House of Representatives and Marjorie Taylor Greene has acquired a nickname over the past couple of weeks.
Moscow Marge?
Moscow Marge, for her opposition to any form of aid to Ukraine. So,
she wants Russia to win.
She is from Georgia, and as we all know, that used to be one of the Soviet satellite countries. 2 law enforcement officers lost their lives in very different circumstances over the weekend in Illinois and Indiana. Officer Luis M. Huesca was headed home from a duty shift when he was shot multiple times and his car stolen, according to the Chicago Police Department superintendent. Detectives are trying to figure out if it was a simple carjacking or something else. Ada County Deputy Tobin Bolter pulled a vehicle over around 9 p.m. on Saturday night in Boise, Idaho. But as he approached the car's window, the driver allegedly opened fire. Here's Lieutenant Larry Snelling of the Chicago PD giving details about the shooting death of their officer, Luis M. Huesca.
While returning home, the officer was shot multiple times. He was transported to the University of Chicago Hospital, where he was pronounced.
I guess that first line was a typo there, so it's in Illinois and Idaho, not Indiana, as I'd said, but that's what was written. As far as the officers killed in Idaho over the weekend, radio traffic shows the moment that officers realized that the person who had been shot, we're still in the Chicago case here, I think, was a fellow police officer.
822? Maybe a 10-1. Oh, it's not a 10-1, but it's a PO. I think it's DOA.
Wait, 822, go again? Did not copy that.
That person shot. He's a police officer.
Okay, that was the police officer shooting in Chicago. Now, in Idaho, Deputy Tobin Bolter pulled over a car, and the driver allegedly opened fire, killing him. And then the driver left the scene. Here is Sheriff Matt Clifford. You can hear the emotion in his voice as he described what happened during that deadly incident.
Last night at about 8:55 p.m., an ACO deputy made a traffic stop on a gray Chevy Suburban near Overland and Raymond in Boise. When he approached the driver's window, the driver shot the deputy and fled the scene.
That's so terrifying.
Yeah, so some horrific police officer killings over the weekend.
You know, a lot of people, I know, question why police officers act the way they act sometimes when they approach a car or when they stop a car over.
Well, the things they do are procedural, right?
Right. Well, and they're suspicious of you for a reason.
Well, they don't know what's in there.
They don't know what's going on.
They don't know what your deal is. You know, you might have a human head in the seat next to you. Honestly, going into that, you have no idea what might be waiting for you. A 13-year-old middle school girl in Pennsylvania attacked a 12-year-old classmate last week using a, quote, large Stanley Cup. Not the kind you win in hockey, but those giant Stanley.
The insulated mug, thermoses.
I got a little bit more on the story here, but we're going to hear from multiple parents and students from the school where this happened in Pennsylvania, speaking out about the violent attack.
He texted me and just said, "Mom, I'm scared." I can't even tell you what it's like to get a text message like that when your kid is at school. He's been a mess ever since.
Okay, so that's the mom of the kid who got attacked. So it was a boy, the 13-year-old girl who attacked with the Stanley. I keep wanting to say Stanley Steamer, but the
Stanley Cup.
The Stanley Cup beat up a 12-year-old classmate who was a boy.
I just feel like there had to be multiple failures along the way here for this to happen.
You get that call from your kid hearing the words blood and help me, and you freeze and you panic.
If it was taken serious by multiple complaints, that little girl would have been in school today.
You know, how are you keeping our kids safe?
The victim is expected to recover. The attacker, the 13-year-old, will face charges. There's no word on why she did it, but it was so vicious that the other student was visibly bleeding. The attacker, okay, see, this says she was taken to the hospital. What was this lady talking about her? Maybe it was like she got a call from her son who saw what happened.
He texted me and just said, "Mom, I'm scared." I can't even tell you what it's like to get a text message like that when your kid is at school. He's been a mess ever since.
Oh, she's just saying that her kid witnessed it, messed it up. Because this story says that it was a 13-year-old girl and she attacked a 12-year-old girl with a, quote, according to the report, very large Stanley Cup, hitting her several times. The attacker will face charges. Parents are concerned. They want to know if the attacker will be returning to school, how the school will protect students. One parent said she warned counselors that her daughter was threatened by the same girl last week.
On the good side, Stanley Cups can be used for self-defense. They're large enough.
Things we've learned about Stanley Cups.
Things we learned, right?
They do not burn. if your car is on fire, and they can be used
for
as
self-defense.
Is there some kind of secret thing about the Stanley Cups that make them better than any other random cup you would buy anywhere?
It's a thermos.
Yeah, there are a bunch of those. Why are these such a big thing?
It's a TikTok thermos.
All right. Oh, is it famous because of TikTok?
Kind of.
The TSA says that they're having real issues with one state's real IDs. Do you know what the real IDs are?
Mm-mm.
So it's a form of identification called Real ID. You get those at the driver's license. I don't know what makes that different from a driver's license. Maybe it doesn't let you drive, but anyway.
Wait, you said you could get that at the driver's license. Did you mean the DMV?
At the driver's license regional office.
Oh.
She said that she's had trouble verifying her real ID at 2 different airports because they fade out so quickly, and that TSA was not able to match the photo on the ID with her actual face. Kentucky is having this problem. Travelers are getting hassled by TSA agents because their authentication technology is having trouble verifying people's identities. Here's Kelly Godwin talking about the trouble she had traveling with her relatively new Real ID.
He really struggled getting it to process my photo, and she pulled it back out and she's like, how old is this driver's license? And I said, I just got it in October. She's like, it's all washed out, I can't see anything. He made me remove my hat, he had me take my glasses off, he asked me to change my smile and the way I was looking. He couldn't get it to verify, so we had to get a supervisor involved at that point.
All right. Kelly Osbourne has come out specifically to deny that she lost her pregnancy weight using Ozempic.
Oh, okay.
Kelly Osbourne is adamant that Ozempic is not the way she lost 85 pounds.
I know everybody thinks I took Ozempic. I did not take Ozempic. I don't know where that came from. My mom took Ozempic.
She's like, it was
It was my mom, not me.
She's like, it was the cocaine. That's what I did.
Credit where credit is due.
Do, yeah.
Here's Kelly telling Extra why and how she lost the 85 pounds. But it definitely wasn't through Ozempic.
I had gestational diabetes, and I had to lose the weight that I had gained during pregnancy. Otherwise, I was at a higher risk of actually getting diabetes, which I did not want. I cut out sugar and carbohydrates, and I rapidly lost weight.
Okay. So that sounds like how you do it.
Finally.
Kevin Bacon visited the high school from Footloose for its 40th anniversary.
He visited your high school?
It wasn't my high school.
Buzz.
Yeah, that's such a big deal.
So are they saying this is the 40th anniversary of the movie
Yes.
Footloose, not the 40th anniversary of the school? The students that go there reached out to him, and along with his foundation, they put together 5,000 resource kits for those in need, and Kevin Bacon said, all right, I will come and visit the Footloose School for the 40th anniversary of the movie. It's called Payson High School and is in Utah. Kevin Bacon showed up. He thanked the students for giving back to the community and to those in need. He said, quote, I'm thrilled we're going to be working here together today. The students had been campaigning for Kevin Bacon to come visit and even offered to support his foundation, 6degrees.org. And they pledged to create those 5,000 essential resource kits. Kevin Bacon also said he got a pretty harsh reality check when he was at the high school where he filmed Footloose 40 years ago.
Wow.
One of the greatest things I heard today when I was on the tour was, a young woman said to me, my grandfather was in school here when you were doing the movie. I went, what? Your grandfather?
Wait a minute. So the grandfather must have been 16 or 17.
Yeah.
In 84. 26. I guess the math works out.
You could be a grandpa right now.
I could be a grandpa, but I don't think I could be. I guess I could technically be a grandpa that had a kid in high school. I have a kid in high school.
But if you had one earlier.
Like at 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have had to. God dang. I could have a kid and I could be a great-grandpa by now.
Well, I mean, you kind of are.
Explain the meaning of that comment.
No, you know.
What the hell are you talking about?
No problem.
Okay.
Hey, I have a piece of news you might find interesting.
Sure, fire away.
The leader of Papua New Guinea has defended his nation
and said we did not eat Joe Biden's Uncle Bozy. Is that what the story is?
That's it.
Good on that leader. He's like, I will not let our name be besmirched.
Slandered,
Exactly.
besmirched, like Joanna says.
We were having, we were talking about this story, and it was interspersed with laughter. And briefly, I thought, wait a minute, this is like a guy who died in World War II, and he died. He gave his life serving his country. But apparently it's okay to make fun of because everybody was over the weekend. Everybody was making fun of.
We can make fun of the fact that he died normally and not as a cannibal.
Okay, so I guess the story is his uncle, Biden's uncle, his plane went down to low altitude near Papua New Guinea.
Right.
Anything beyond that is speculation. They never found the body. They never recovered the body. And Joe Biden was talking about how there were so many cannibals in Papua New Guinea.
That's probably what happened to his
That's probably what happened to his uncle.
Well, the prime minister...
I'm telling you, there ought to be somebody that has a shot collar, and as soon as it's like...
we think he's getting close to a gaffe.
Eagle is about to go into a story. Eagle is about to go into a story. Alert. Do not go into a story. Don't tell us about your friend Peanut.
Prime Minister
Corn Nut.
Corn Nut was a real, I don't know,
rough dude.
Yeah.
I haven't heard this one.
You never heard the Corn Nut story? Don't talk about how all the black kids were fascinated by the hair on your legs at the swimming pool.
Yeah.
You were its lifeguard. Jesus, why tell those stories?
Prime Minister James Marape said the people of his Pacific Island nation, Papua New Guinea, did not deserve to be labeled cannibals.
Yeah.
After President Joe Biden implied his uncle's body might have been eaten during World War II.
I guess in fairness, there's at least some possibility that his uncle was eaten.
And I mean, in all honesty, there is a tribe of people.
Cannibalism has been practiced in New Guinea.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
In a fairly recent time.
Even fairly recently,
my
yeah.
understanding.
And they probably ate Joe Biden's uncle.
Speaking of Joe Biden, let's get his message about 420 from the White House over the weekend.
Okay.
C-SPAN now takes you to President Joe Biden's comments on 420.
Any conviction at all for marijuana, your record should be wiped clean. But there is evidence that we have to do some more study on the impact on mental acuity. When you think about it, with, I don't know.
This has been President Joe Biden's comments on 420.
And since it is an election year, I know some people would be upset if we didn't give equal time to the other candidate for president.
We talk about marijuana.
Let's go. Let's just see what happens.
Unbelievable. This is big league stuff. And very nice. That was so great.
The earth shifted.
I really had a pretty wild time.
I've been seeing a lot of things.
Make drugs great again. And God bless the United States. Thank you.
Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show, Glenn Garza and Daniel Paulus.
Canutillo School, ISD.org. Because in Canutillo, when we come together, there's nothing we cannot do.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers. At GVILaw.com.
Today
is a great day.
Why? Why is that?
It is Earth Day.
I mean, I love the Earth.
Mother Earth has provided all this.
Earth Day?
Oh, much better than Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day.
Protect Mother Earth.
Earth Day.
Earth Day.
Earth Day has been around since 1970.
Best Earth Day ever.
Happy Earth Day, everyone. I'm Recyclops.
How about some Earth Day entertainment?
Showtime.
Yes, and happy Earth Day to everybody. We'll get the Mo Show calendar going here in just a few minutes, but I have the list of 2024 inductees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The class of 2024.
Finally.
Here are some rockers that will finally get their due. See if you recognize all of these artists and bands. Should I turn this into a quiz for Nico? Nico, who is that singing? Nico got hired to work at a radio station. They didn't bother to ask him if he ever listened to rock music.
Oh, thank God they didn't. That was Ozzy Osbourne. Or Black Sabbath, I should say.
No, it is Ozzy Osbourne. So Ozzy's getting in on his for his solo career.
Okay.
Which he should have been in a long time ago. Black Sabbath has been in a long time, but come on, Ozzy's solo career. All right, Nico, listen closely to
Yeah, no, there's no way out.
Do you feel like we do?
Do you feel like... No, I have no idea on that. That one I don't know.
How about Ooh, Baby, I Love Your Way, if I played that?
Ooh, baby, I love your way every day. Every day. No, I don't know, actually, who sings that.
Peter Frampton.
The Framps?
Peter Frampton is being inducted.
Oh, awesome. Shouldn't he have been in a long time ago?
I think so. Frampton Comes Alive
yeah.
is an album, like a double album that I had. I played it so much. I think I just wore out the album from playing it so much. But how about this final one here? No. Don't Google.
Foreigner. Hell yeah.
You set a bad example.
I'm so excited for that one.
Yeah.
By cheating.
Why am I cheating?
Did you Google?
I mean, I didn't.
He did. He Googled it real quick.
Nicholas.
I have skills.
Remember Mick Jones from Foreigner, his stepson, who is a famous producer named Mark Ronson.
Oh, yeah.
Or a famous record executive or involved in the entertainment industry field in some
Somebody by
way.
the name of Mark Ronson.
Yeah, I'm actually familiar with Mark Ronson. I'm more familiar with Mark Ronson than I am Foreigner.
Why were we recently talking about Foreigner?
Because
there's an immigration problem that we're having in the United States, Joanna.
Many people are anti-foreigner. That's why they're not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame yet. No, probably because Mark Ronson's stepdad is, I think he might even be the last original member. Do you want to hear some more who have been or will be inducted into the Rock Hall of Fame?
Yes.
All right, just listen and tell me how many of these you get. I'm not going to stop after everyone, though, okay?
Okay.
Everybody get on now, cause you know we got to get it.
Yeah, right.
Mary J is in the spot tonight, and I'ma make you feel alright.
Can I kick it? Yes, you can. Can I kick it? Yes, you can.
Wait a minute.
Did somebody say, wait a minute?
Yeah, wait a minute.
Joanna.
Some of that doesn't sound like rock.
Well, let's go through who we've already heard here, okay?
Okay.
Cher. Cher has a career that has spanned decades. It started with the hippie scene with her and Sonny and Cher. Her solo career, her many comebacks, her movie career.
Oh, yeah.
You know, she was in a ton of she's a really, really good actress.
Mm-hmm.
I say Cher, in my book,
okay,
rock and roll enough for me.
But somebody else was in there that was...
Kool and the Gang. Celebrate good times. Come on.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun-dun.
But was there Destiny's Child?
No. That was followed by Mary
J. Blige. I'm sorry.
I really don't have enough knowledge to make a call on Mary J.
She's an
Blige.
amazing musician. I mean, she is an extraordinary musician.
The last band we heard there was A Tribe Called Quest. So they're going to be inducted into the Rock Hall of Fame. Along with...
You were the soul I lost for you. When you come crash.
Joanna.
Huh.
Give me a break. You know who this is.
Who is that?
This band was super popular probably when you were in middle school.
You come crash into me.
It's the guy I'm always bitching that one time a girl dumped me because I wasn't a big enough fan of this
Dave
band.
Matthews?
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
I wouldn't say dump, but
Some
after
chick
like the
dumped
first... you can't really call it dump because it was a first date scenario. And on this, before the first date was over, she was like, I just don't see myself getting serious with somebody who's not as big a fan of Dave Matthews as I am.
I can't believe it.
Believe it, leave it, leave it.
That song is from 1996. I wasn't in middle school.
What were you in?
I was barely in elementary school.
Well, they've done stuff since then.
Have they?
Yeah, Dave Matthews.
Never heard a Dave Matthews song.
Oh, now you're wanting me to get the Spotify going, aren't you?
I mean, that was one, right?
What do Dave Matthews fans call themselves?
Oh, yeah. What do they call themselves?
Davies? Matthew heads.
Dave's.
Trapped in the 90s. No offense to Dave Matthews fans out there. Let's take a look at the Mo Show calendar and daily almanac of events and find out what's going on. As we mentioned, today is Earth Day. It's also Passover. Passover begins tonight and will last through the 30th. Yeah, that's the end of the month. Okay. Happy Passover, good Pesach to everybody who will be celebrating that. Today is National Baseball Day. Today's National Beagle Day.
Ooh, what kind? Like the dog? Or the ship, like HMS Beagle?
It was the HMS Beagle. That's the dog breed. What the hell is wrong with you? God, now you throw me so far off. Did I even mention that it's Baseball Day?
Yes, you
National
did.
Baseball Day, okay. Birthdays today include Machine Gun Kelly.
Woo!
Who's, I guess, still together with Megan Fox somehow.
Not according to her.
Well, yeah, it's complicated, apparently.
It's complicated.
It's a situationship.
Remember how on, I think it was MySpace or Facebook, you could put that, like, it's complicated.
It's complicated.
As your relationship status.
Anyway,
them.
Machine Gun Kelly's 34.
34?
Right.
Amber Heard is 38. The former Mrs. Johnny Depp. But I hear she was a girlfriend.
Oh, I get that joke. Yeah, I got it. That was a poopy joke.
Sherry Shepard, who used to be on The View, is 57 today. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who plays Negan on The Walking Dead.
Hey.
He's 58.
You know, I knew him from Grey's Anatomy, season 1.
Negan?
Yeah. He plays Katherine Heigl's love interest who dies.
Doesn't everybody die on that show?
Eventually. Actually, you die watching it.
He was the comedian in Zack Snyder's Watchmen.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of Peter Frampton, who's going to the Rock Hall of Fame, happy birthday, Peter Frampton, who's 74 today. And director John Waters, groundbreaking, subversive, trashy, all of these have been applied to Mr. John Waters. His most well-known movies are Pink Flamingos, Hairspray.
Which is the one that has Divine in it?
Pink Flamingos, and I think Hairspray. Crybaby.
Oh, yeah, she also comes out in Hairspray.
Yeah, she does come out of Hairspray. And Crybaby with Johnny Depp. Jack Nicholson, one of the finest actors of our or any other generation, is 87 today. And today's the birthday of J. Robert Oppenheimer, the man who created the A-bomb and had a very big movie about him that was out last year. So, 54 years ago in 1970, the first Earth Day was celebrated. It has become an international celebration. But here from 1970 is Walter Cronkite talking about the very first Earth Day.
A unique day in American history, a day set aside for a nationwide outpouring of mankind seeking its own survival. Earth Day, a day dedicated to enlisting all the citizens of a bountiful country in the common cause of saving life from the deadly byproducts of that bounty. The fouled skies, the filthy waters, the littered earth. The gravity of the message of Earth Day came through. Act or die.
All right. Thank you very much,
God.
Walter Cronkite.
Wow.
Oh, God. Here comes a guy with a clipboard.
Excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
Do you care about the Earth?
No.
How about the oceans? Do you care about the oceans?
No.
How do you not care about the Earth and the oceans?
Have you seen the news lately? Haiti, tsunamis, Japan, Katrina, volcanoes. How am I going to care? The Earth doesn't care about us.
Well, don't you want stronger oceans?
No. I'd prefer my oceans weaker. Killing less people.
But the marine life...
Sharks. You're talking about sharks?
Well, not in particular, but yeah.
Nope on the sharks.
Well, how about all the seabirds?
Pooping. Don't eat seabirds. Personally. If you're asking.
Look, I'm just looking for signatures, dude.
I'll sign it if you go away. And you don't tell me about anything.
That's all I was asking.
Done.
Thanks for helping save the...
You promised.
Oh, yeah.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5.
For better fuel efficiency of our 6,300 stores.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Local and loco.
Don't you know I'm loco?
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, 95.5 KLAQ.
Indisposed, in disguise.
Soundgarden with Black Hole Sun, 95.5 KLAQ. Been listening to a lot of podcasts recently, as most of the world does now. And one that I discovered is from Neil Strauss. You remember the name Neil Strauss very well, don't you?
I do. Absolutely. Big fan.
And we're joined by Neil Strauss. Hello, Neil.
Hey, great to be on. Thank you.
Neil wrote the book, The Game, which was kind of like his... He embedded himself with the pickup artist community, including this dude Mystery, who was on it. You remember that reality
the VH1 show,
right?
yeah.
So that's Neil Strauss, who now this book was popular, but I did not know it was used to train spies for the U.S. government, but I found that out in episode 1 of To Die For. Neil, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's kind of a wild story. So after I wrote this book, just really about young guys running around trying to figure out how to meet women, I get this call from a man who identified himself as a high-ranking officer at the FBI who wanted me to come in and train his agents in the art of seduction, but for the purpose not of, it's wild. It was such a trip. And they were flying me out there, and literally the game was the same. How do you meet a stranger? But instead of whatever it is, having a romantic situation, I would need to get them to inform on their boss or turn over state secrets to our government. It was wild. And we realized that these pickup artists, maybe knew more about this than human behavior than the FBI in some respects.
Oh, can you imagine Mystery going deep undercover? That guy couldn't infiltrate anything except like a reunion of retired pilots with his goggles on.
Yeah.
Now,
maybe Halloween.
Yeah,
one day a year he can do it.
Are we also joined by Alia Rosa?
Yes.
She's
hello,
here.
guys.
Hi, Alia. Very nice to talk to you.
Nice to meet you.
You've got a friend, Johnny Fratto Jr., actually, who knew Aaliyah. Yeah, you were mutual friends. So he called up Neil Strauss, our buddy Neil, and said, you got to meet this lady. Neil, what did he tell you? Pick up on your side of the thing.
Sure. So Johnny Fratto Jr., his dad was Johnny Fratto, who was a gangster or from a gangster family from Chicago. He's also a guest on the Howard Stern show, which is, I guess, what gangsters in the modern age also do. And he said, you wrote this book, The Game. I have someone I want you to meet. She is the female equivalent of you. However, she was trained by the Russian government as an intelligence agency to seduce heads of state and seduce criminals and get their secrets. And of course I said yes.
The podcast is called To Die For, and I'll let Alia Rosa answer the next question, but definitely, I know it sounds super sexy and much like a James Bond, but Alia, do you consider yourself having been sex trafficked by Putin's government?
Well, now, yes, but the time when I was working there, I didn't feel this way. You know, I was kind of programmed and brainwashed that I was a hero. So I was doing my job and I didn't think like that. But after some years, I realized that I've been manipulated by my own government. Yes.
There's one point in the first episode. I'm through 2 episodes, and they're about, Neil, what would you say, 30 minutes piece?
Yeah, 30 minutes. Yeah.
So you could get through 8 parts, 30 minutes. I'm going to make another pop culture reference, but keeping in mind that this was a traumatic ordeal that Aaliyah went through. Every minute that I'm listening to this podcast, I'm thinking she's the Black Widow from the Avengers. She's exactly like Black. Wait, what'd you say, Aaliyah?
I was like, wow, thanks.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't she put through some kind of program? Then there was a movie called Red Sparrow. I think it was Red Sparrow with Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence, yeah.
Right. Is that based on kind of the group you were part of under the FSB?
Movies are movies.
I know.
In reality, it's not the same.
First episode, you said, though, that you, in the line of your work, you've killed people.
I had to, yes.
And that's something emotionally, are you still dealing with that today?
Absolutely, yes. I have a few therapists I'm working for the last 15 years. Some new therapists I'm working, in the United States as well. And, I still have a guilt. It's really hard, very painful to leave, to be honest.
I have so many questions. I could go down this rabbit hole of what it. Now, do you know if Vladimir Putin ever had any personal awareness of you? I know you work for the government under Putin, but were you well known enough that Putin knew who you were?
Well, I really hope he's very busy with the Ukrainian war. Hopefully losing it at some point. And I hope, well, you know what, like, let's say like that. Let's see what will happen. But no matter what, thanks to Neil, my life story is in there. And I just hope that it will send the right message to people.
All right,
Neil, hold on. I'm wondering real quick whether the techniques that Neil, and Aaliyah, are they very similar? Is seduction the same across the world?
It's such a good question. It was wild. I'd be sitting and she'd say, well, there's this technique called mirroring where you can sort of match somebody's movements to build rapport from them. And like literally, I learned that from the pickup artist in the game. And then she'd talk about what they called, this is a technique called circles of hell that she taught, which in the game was sort of push-pull where you give people these mixed messages and kind of play with punishment and rewards. So it was wild to me how similar these techniques were.
Neil, in I believe episode 2, it's your first meeting with Aaliyah, just the two of you. Did she try to neg you right out of the box on the very first meeting you had?
I've never asked her, but so we can ask her now.
Yeah, let's ask her.
So basically, a neg is like a backhanded compliment when you're like, which I walked in and she's like, nice shoes. I'm like, oh, thank you. She's got style. She likes my shoes. Then she's like, my son would love them. And suddenly it just took the compliment away. I'm like, that's classic game. So Leah, was that a technique or just natural? Or were the shoes that bad?
Well, seduction is a lifestyle, right? It's just it's just inside of your DNA.
Did you recognize Neil as another person who knew whatever these are, mind tricks, Jedi, whatever they are? Did you recognize him as a fellow traveler?
It's like, we say you always attract who you are, right? I guess so. I think, when you connect with someone and you feel the same vibrations, you just go with the flow. And as you can see, it's becoming an interesting journey. And I do believe that we created a beautiful thing for the audience. And as much as we receive a lot of feedbacks, really positive feedbacks, I can understand that people really love that. And it's very deep impact to the society, and I'm very thankful to Neil.
I would say they should make a movie out of this, but it feels like they have. It feels like there are a few movies that are kind of about this already out there.
Wait till you hear where it's going. By the way, and we'll talk later just off the, but wait till you hear it's going. It gets so intense, and it's in the criminal world where Leah is in, it's so much more dangerous than, say, someone seducing an ambassador or a diplomat, because maybe the punishment is if you are caught seducing an embassy worker in Russia, you're like, you just failed your mission and you go on another mission. But if it's a criminal, where Aaliyah was working with drug trafficking and sex trafficking and things, they basically, you're a narc and a rat, and you're dead.
So would you say, Aaliyah, were you more of a law enforcement officer or more of a spy?
I would say I would be more like agent who would, similar story to DEA here in America, where they would operate on criminal gangs, spy on them, discover some, spots for drug trafficking, and get there and just, work on the whole operation. And it doesn't matter what kind of tools you will use, as long as you will bring result and put the whole criminal gang down. And as you know, there risking their lives, this officer. So I guess like I was on the, I was an agent working on the field rather than just spying on someone and deliver and report some information.
All right,
Aaliyah,
I want to respect our time here because they have other interviews to get to. But
I got to ask Neil. Neil, now that everybody knows about the game, everybody knows what negging is the game the same?
Yeah, I think things have changed, but human nature is the same. So even when we know it, sometimes that we're just vulnerable to the same psychological tricks or tactics. But I think post of this, I think manipulating to get what you want is kind of insecure.
Right.
It's manipulative. Yeah. It's all douchebag moves. I read the thing, and Neil, no offense, I know you were got to know some of these people.
I agree with you.
It's douchebaggery 101 for douchebags who want to seduce other douchebags.
Or another way to think about it's that, and it's some people who are neurodivergent and don't know how to really socially connect, finding ways to do it. So,
oh my God, I could see mystery being somewhere on the spectrum easily.
Yes, yeah. So it's both. I guess it depends on who's holding the book.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, this is called To Die For. Neil Strauss and Aaliyah Rosa, who was trained to be a seductress, to get people to fall in love with her, to bring them to justice. And you should check it out.
Super interesting.
Yeah, it's To Die For. Thank you, Aaliyah. And
thank you,
Neil, for being on with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, we covered a lot. Thanks for a great interview.
Oh, yeah. We'd love to do it again more in depth one of these days. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Let's do that.
Okay. All right, Neil, thank you.
Great. Talk soon.
There's Neil and Aaliyah. Let's take a break. We've got entertainment news with Joanna Barba on the way.
Find out what's going on. Quirky facts about our region. Urgent things you need to know impacting your drive. And of course, nothing but El Paso's best rock. Oh, with
It's Warren's TrialLawyers.com. Decades of experience available to you. Wyatt Underwood, TrialLawyers.com.
Broadcasting in El Paso to El Paso. The Buzz Adams Morning Show on 95.5 KLAQ.
Hey, Joanna has our Hollywood Cheesemate coming up in just a moment. All the news from around Hollywood and around the world, really, coming up. I want to thank our guest, Neil Strauss.
Oh, my God.
So, Nico, why don't you tell the little anecdote you were telling about...
that was in private.
Oh, do share, Nico.
So Nico's giving me his history of how long he's been a fan of Neil Strauss.
He came and told me, too.
Yeah.
He told me he wanted you to shut it so that he could talk to you.
Yeah, I was like, well, Buzz doesn't talk too much. I wanted to ask questions.
9 minutes, man. So you were...
Also, Aaliyah, you're like, were you sex trafficked?
Yeah. And then you're like, so you killed people. And she was just like, I had to.
Yeah. Like they were very blunt, personal questions. So you're like, you killed. You were sex trafficked.
I think that's an important part of the story. If you're going to know anything and we got 10 minutes to interview somebody, it's like you have killed people.
Tell us about the people you
Where
killed.
do you go from there, though?
Are you still killing people? Come on. So Neil Strauss's book came out probably when you were in high school, right? 2007?
No, we just graduated.
What was the name of the book?
So the name of the game, Penetrating the Secret Society of Pickup Artists. Now, that came out in 2005. I didn't really read it till 2007.
But the show came out, I think we were already out of high school.
2006, I think the show came out.
When the Pickup Artists
2007, yeah. Just so people know, though, Neil Strauss was a journalist. He wrote for all kinds of public, Rolling Stone, and then he wrote as a ghostwriter books like The Dirt for Motley Crue.
The Motley Crue thing was written by Neil.
The Long Hard Road Out of Hell with Marilyn Manson. How to Make Love Like a Porn Star with Jenna Jameson. So after he starts doing this pickup artist stuff, he started an online academy And I was very interested in. Okay, I think the pickup artist stuff is very interesting, just from a social science perspective and an evolutionary psychological point of view.
It gets into this whole thing where it's like it tells guys there's a certain way if you use the right words and say them a certain way and present yourself a certain way, you are irresistible to the opposite sex.
You know what? You were making, and I can tell you didn't really watch that much or maybe read it, but like neuro-linguistic programming is used for sales marketing and salespeople all the time, whether it's a man or a woman. I mean, it's not just for picking up women. The techniques inside are psychological little tips and tricks.
Neuro-linguistic programming.
Right, by using certain words to anchor certain ideas into your head.
Okay. But
anyways,
there's also negging.
There's also negging.
Peacocking.
Let me
think, what else? The October Man Surprise?
I asked, no, that's something else. I asked Buzz if he knew what Neil Strauss's pickup artist name was, because Buzz said he was a big fan of the show or book. Do you remember what Neil Strauss's pickup artist? Everybody gets a pickup artist named Joanna, by the way.
Okay.
Like, that's why mystery is called mystery.
Did you choose one?
I never chose one, no.
What was your...
Mr. Hugo.
That one, I was about to say that. Mr. Hugo.
Okay.
Wait. But he had an online resource, right?
He did. It was called the Online Academy for Attraction,
the
Arts
Online
and Sciences.
Academy for Attraction, Arts, and Sciences.
It's called the Style Life Online Academy.
Because that was Neil.
His pickup artist name was Style.
So Neil is a really good writer, but he's a short, very bald, very unassuming.
But that's what's amazing, and
character.
That's what's amazing about it. From the start of the book, he talks about that, how he was like growing like a tuft of hair on his head because he was going about kind of like, I guess, how I am. And
he's a real hero.
And relating too much.
And how he was learning to just be more confident.
Yes.
But tell us more about this online
I want to hear the little anecdote he was telling you in the break.
My point is that anybody can use these techniques, and even somebody unattractive like Style. See, Buzz has this thing where only attractive people get attractive people.
No, that dude on the show, Pickup Artist, was not hot.
No. But in
But
Buzz's
he pulled
head,
in some baddies,
only
so.
hot people date. And if a hot person is dating a not hot person, then there is a reason, whether it's
Tell
money.
me more about this online attraction academy, because to get the full thing, you'd have to pay for it, right?
I did have a subscription. I was curious about it.
You subscribed to Neil Strauss's Pickup Artist Training Academy.
They had like
now, was that a recurring monthly or a one-time only fee, or
it's like a one-time only fee?
Yeah, and you got full access to all the pickup artists.
Because then you could access other people's mission reports of their interactions.
Mission reports.
Yeah, they'd go out. They would.
Oh my God.
Went out and egged this girl for 30 straight minutes. Next thing you know, we're back at our place bumping the uglies.
Yeah,
like that.
I cannot picture either of you negging at all. I don't think you guys could do it.
Oh, I was pretty good at it.
I mean, not in that outfit for sure.
Wait. So you tried to implement some of these techniques?
See, that's negging.
Oh, yeah. Joanna just negged the hell out of me.
Yeah, I could never see you negging, especially dressed like that. Nico, I don't know what's worse, being bald or that hat. That's not a good neg.
God, you really should take these classes.
Yeah, that was just an insult. That was just a straight
Notice how I did it with tact.
with grace and subtlety.
Exactly.
Nico, I like your shirt. I had one that looked very much like that when I was in high school.
But your face is ugly.
Hey, good morning. Morning show. I just heard the interview with Neil Strauss, and hey, Buzz, is the whole thing that you asked Neil Strauss that if you would describe it kind of like this is kind of for douchebags, because of Nico telling you him reading that book and being a big fan of Neil Strauss and the pickup artist thing. Also, Nico, did you ever see those videos of simple pickup on YouTube? Dude, this cringiest. Looking back at those videos,
super cringe.
It's the cringiest stuff. Bro.
Super.
But hey.
No, just so you guys know, Buzz is a fan of the book, The Game. He has the book, The Game.
I think you
by
read
Neil
it.
Strauss.
You?
No, I didn't read your copy, but I did.
He has his own, okay?
I did take Buzz's because I lost my copy.
We had interviewed Neil when that book came out.
Oh, yeah?
That's the copy we got, like a review copy you get when you're doing interviews.
Oh,
and
nice.
stuff.
And
So
Buzz
I,
is like,
so I
"I've
did not
never
go
read
out
it."
and spend, because it's a big book. It's probably like $35 at Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, and then there's this whole thing, Joanna, about like initiating a contact, and it's like, you know, when do you want to like initiate physical contact with somebody? And they have all these technical terms for it. So that's called Keno, you know. In retrospect, it is cringy and very
You
stupid.
saw yourself.
I gotta read this book.
Yeah.
You saw yourself as being such a player.
No!
that all you needed
No.
was Neil Strauss's online pickup artist resource website.
I wanted help.
He wasn't the pickup artist you see him as today.
Today, yeah. Today I just speak and it happens.
I'm going to get to this one here in a second. I think that's Shorty Jr. I think I think we got a call from Shorty Jr. So I want to put that one on.
Oh, wait. I liked a big point I like to point out. For the most part, I'm not sure if Neil is married. I don't think he is, but he's been single most of his life.
I mean, who else are you going to get advice? It's like when that one caller called in last week for love advice from me and Buzz.
It's like, yeah, why would you want that?
Some people just don't have that many people to talk to, and sometimes you just want a stranger's opinion on something. As to why somebody would call for our advice.
It's the Hollywood Cheese Man. It's the Hollywood Cheese Man. Joanna, tell us more.
Good morning, Joanna, and happy Pesach.
What?
Happy Pesach.
It's Passover. He's saying the Hebrew term for Passover.
Oh, okay.
Why are you saying it like that?
Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day.
I hope you have a great Seder later.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A later Seder.
A later Seder.
All right. Okay. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Ever since the great Nashville chair throw of 2024, no one has heard anything from Morgan Wallen until this past Friday night. Morgan finally tweeted out something and says that he's accepting responsibility for his actions. In his tweet, he said, quote, "I didn't feel right publicly checking in until I made amends with some folks. I've touched base with Nashville law enforcement, my family, and the good people at Chiefs. I'm not proud of my behavior, and I accept responsibility." He then followed it up by saying, "I have the utmost respect for the officers working every day to keep us all safe. Regarding my tour, there will be no change," and then signed off. Not sure if it was necessary to plug his tour in inside the apology tweet, but at least he publicly owned up. He also had a show this past weekend at the University of Mississippi. It was his first show back since Chairgate, and it was a makeup show from last year when it was abruptly canceled minutes before he was supposed to go on stage. Morgan might have made a nod to his current legal troubles at one point in the show when he was talking about playing sports as a kid, because he said, quote, "In high school, I almost got kicked off the team. I was a little rowdy back then. I guess I'm still a little rowdy now." Morgan is due in court on May 3rd. Pat,
How high was the building he tossed the chair off?
I think these are like 3-story building, maybe.
Yeah. Could have really hurt somebody,
Could
right?
have really hurt somebody. It almost hit some police officers.
And why did he do it?
He was drunk.
Okay. He needs to settle himself down. Be a little more George Strait, a little less Randy Travis.
Randy Travis. Patti Smith responded Saturday to Taylor Swift's recent mention of her in the title track of her album, The Tortured Poets Department. Swift name-drops Smith, a rock poet and artist, alongside poet Dylan Thomas in the chorus of her song, The Tortured Poets Department, released along with its namesake album Friday. In it, she sings, quote, "I laughed in your face and said, 'You're not Dylan Thomas. I'm not Patti Smith. This isn't the Chelsea Hotel. We're modern idiots.'" On Instagram, Smith posted a photo of herself reading a Dylan Thomas collection on Instagram, writing, "This is saying I was moved to be mentioned in the company of the great Welsh poet Dylan Thomas. Thank you, Taylor." Oh, that's nice. I know you're going to have a deep dive later, Buzz.
Yeah, you think our audience wants to be aware of this stuff?
Not really, but
Of Taylor Swift stuff?
Apparently one of the
I
things...
want to hear the one about Kim Kardashian.
There's one track that is a complete diss track, just a takedown of Kim Kardashian, but they never use her name. But they kind of do. But
Ooh.
yeah, we can listen to some.
Scandalous. Well, finally, Giancarlo Esposito was once so broke that he contemplated arranging his own murder in an effort to help his children out financially.
That's very Gus Fringish of him.
Ooh. Esposito recently appeared on SiriusXM's Jim and Sam show to promote AMC's show Parish, which he stars in and produces. The 65-year-old was drawn to play Gracian Gray Parish because he saw similarities between the character and himself, specifically the aspect of being a hard-working individual who cannot achieve a better life for himself and his family. Esposito recalled a time around 2008 when he felt everything in his personal life was caving in on him, and he started wondering if his kids could receive life insurance money from his death. He went on to propose scenarios to his then-wife, Joy McGanigal, about insurance policies.
No idea why I was asking her this stuff. And then I thought, I just started scheming. If I got somebody to knock me off, death through misadventure, they would get the insurance. I had 4 kids. I wanted them to have a life. Like, it was a hard moment in time. I literally thought of self-annihilation so that they could survive. Wow. That's how low I was. So that was the first inkling that there was a way out, but I wouldn't be here to be available to it or be a part of it or be there for my kids. Then, I started to think that's not viable because the pain I would cause them would be lifelong and lifelong trauma that would just extend the generational trauma with which I'm trying to move away from. The light at the end of the tunnel was Breaking Bad.
The following year, Esposito landed the role of Gus Fring in Breaking Bad, and he's had steady work ever since, doing nearly 40 episodes of Better Call Saul and over 20 episodes of Dear White People and Godfather of Harlem, plus roles on The Boys, The Mandalorian, and Once Upon a Time.
Moff Gideon.
He has also scored 5 Emmy nominations, and this year he'll appear in Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis and Ty West's Maxine, among others.
And wasn't he just in the horror movie you went to go see?
He was in Abigail.
How was Abigail?
It was a lot of fun.
Okay.
Okay.
Dracula's daughter gets kidnapped.
Yep.
Who would,
but the idiots don't know that's Dracula's daughter.
But then they get stuck in the house with her?
Yes.
And it's like her feeding time, basically.
Yeah, and she's like, we're going to play a little game.
She's ballet dances.
Yeah, there you go.
She's a ballet dancer,
Who would win in a dance-off between who would win in a fight between Abigail and Annabelle?
Annabelle's the doll.
Yeah.
Annabelle's a doll.
Doesn't she kill people?
How about Megan versus Abigail?
Yeah, that's a better one.
Okay.
And with your entertainment news, I'm Joanna Barba.
Yeah, I have a question for you, Buzz. How long a shower do you have to take before you wipe the scum off after having talked to a sleazebag like that for 10 minutes? I mean, my God.
I talk to Nico every single day.
You're such a...
You got to be sitting in an acid shower for the next 2 hours to wash that off. Ugh.
I think he's talking about Neil Strauss.
I wonder why, though.
The game.
Oh, wow.
Just, this whole thing is you're kind of like deceiving people to get them into bed.
Well, hasn't that always been...
That you deceive people to get them into bed?
Well, no, I don't think... What are you talking about deceiving?
Like you make them feel negative about yourself that makes them want to seek your approval. All that's very manipulative.
Well, I think we all do that. Lots of people do that normally in their relationships.
Yeah, I nag you every day so that we can break on time.
Yeah.
You nag me?
Yes. Look, see, you don't even notice it.
No, I would recognize it.
Yeah, right.
Game recognize game.
Okay.
Or no game, don't recognize game.
You're just manipulating people. I don't know. It seems real scummy to me.
I'm pretty sure you
manipulate.
Honest. Pretty sure you manipulated.
It's not honest. You're not being honest.
Pretty sure you have not been honest with people that you've dated before.
Yeah, you kind of fooled that one.
Are you trying to say that
I'm going to take Dave Matthews Band seriously?
Like, no,
and then she was like, "No, you're not."
Are you trying to say all dating is honesty?
No, I'm saying that these pickup artist techniques are perfecting the skills of presenting yourself in a dishonest way.
In what way?
In a way other than what you really are.
Yeah, sounds like dating. I don't know.
All right. Anyway, yeah, probably.
Buzz is not an expert on dating.
Neil's a charming guy. I mean, I've interviewed him, and he's always a good interview, and he's a really nice guy. And he just happened to write this book about the pickup artist community. Now he's got
I think there's life lessons to learn.
He's got a podcast with a lady who says she's a Russian sex spy. So.
Hey, Tracy, let us know exactly what you were thinking and why you think he's a douchebag or grimy.
All right, so let's take a break. We'll come back. We've got more of the Buzz Adams Morning Show on the way right after this.
Music news, concert updates, song and album factoids, and of course, nothing but El Paso's best rock.
Oh, with the parts you need, AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
Got a number of calls here, some of them having to do with Neil Strauss, who was on to talk about his podcast.
Great interview. What's the name of the podcast?
To Die For.
The podcast is To Die For.
To Die For.
To Die For.
Like Barbara's nails. Let's talk to Chris, and Chris is calling in live today. Hi, Chris.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chris.
How are you?
Good, fantastic. What's up?
I guess you had to rename it that because Art of the Deal was already taken, it seems like.
Right.
But, you know what's interesting? I have a teenage son, and you see all his friends and stuff. I think being on what he does, there's an art to this. There's an art to be, you know, picking up girls, but it's not so much as far as picking up girls, but more of self-confidence, self-worth, self-whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think his book would apply to today because basically all teens do now. I mean, back in the day, you have to go talk to her, get a phone number. Now all they do is, can I get your socials?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no...
What's your Insta? You ever heard that one?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your Insta?
Yeah, I mean, well, that I heard it at that. What's your Insta? And now it's, what are your socials? Since there's a whole bunch.
Just give me all of them.
Just give me all of them, yeah. I mean, and that was like, you know, there's no art to it. There's no finesse to it. It's just, hey, we'll just text.
Right.
We may never meet in person, but...
Well, I think that's a good point, Chris, because it means that, like, maybe the game has changed from being in person and learning to pick up people at a bar or at school or something, and now it's, do you have a texting game? Do you have a messenger game?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, I'm really screwed now.
Yeah, me too, especially with the autocorrect. You know, I mean, that just...
Well, and you can't, like, tell tones or, you know, there's a lot with texting you can't do.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I'll never be good at it because I can't send a text without using proper punctuation.
Well, I mean, no. I mean, Buzz, you really have to admit to everybody out there that you've never picked up a girl. That you have never actively...
Oh, yeah, Buzz doesn't even try.
Buzz has never actively gone up to a woman and said, "Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Buzz Adams. Can I buy you a drink?"
I would never. That's just not a thing I would do.
Dang.
No, but if somebody introduced me to somebody, I'd make polite conversation, but I wouldn't go up to
you've never gone willingly by yourself
up to somebody
and been like, "Hi, can I buy you a drink?"
He has never gone up to somebody.
I would hate the idea of skeeving some girl out or something, or I don't know, you know, maybe.
Well, apparently that says more about how you perceive you than it does.
Okay, yeah, maybe Chris was on the. Maybe I need more self-confidence. I don't know though. I feel like I'm just overflowing with self-confidence though.
Because
ever
since he was 23 years old, he could be said to say, "Hey, I'm Buzz Adams." That's the only pickup line he's needed for 25 years.
But I
for
don't.
30 years.
But I don't.
But he doesn't use it.
That's the only way he's gotten girls.
That's not true.
The only way that I have seen is, "Hey, I'm Buzz Adams."
No, I've never done. You've never seen me do that
somebody else would
ever.
have to be like, "Hi,
hey,
this is Buzz
This is my friend
Adams."
Buzz," and then they go, "Buzz from the radio," and I go, "Yeah,"
and that's it. That's it.
And that's usually the panty dropper line right there.
Oh my god!
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm a very introspective person.
Socially regressed person.
You really?
Socially regret.
Yeah.
I don't know. I went out to.
You got real famous at a young age.
I'm not real famous now.
Or you
I'm
got well known.
Famous within a 30-mile radius.
You got well
Let's
known.
be clear of
in
what
a
we're
city.
talking about here.
You got well known in a city, young, and really never had to work for it.
Okay.
Like the rest of us who've been scraping by.
So you really don't know the art of picking up a woman.
He doesn't.
Just be nice and,
going up to a stranger.
No.
You would never do it.
No.
No.
Why?
Why?
I don't know.
We should try that sometime.
But what about going up to a stranger would be off-putting or weird?
Well, I mean, let me make a point. I wouldn't go up and talk to a stranger that was a guy. Like, just strike up. I wouldn't start the conversation. I'm happy to have a conversation, but like I say, I
think I've totally seen you start a conversation with a stranger in public.
But I didn't walk over and, hey.
Maybe standing next to him, and you go, oh, look at that. Look at that paper you got there.
We have people doing their impression of what Nico's game must sound like.
I've seen a lot of that now that I get neckline calls as well.
So
I hate you all.
This is people. Nico actually joined Neil Strauss's pickup artist website in the 2000s.
Hey, baby. How are you? My name's Nico. I'm a professional comedian, and I'm on radio. Yeah. Let's say you and I get out of here.
Never have I done it like that.
That's how you do it?
No.
No.
It is.
I think the guy had
you. It's really not.
I thought the guy had you nailed down pretty good there, buddy.
Do you have like an art as well when you go pick up a woman?
Yeah, I mean,
that book and subscription really helped.
When I had hair, I felt way more confident. The confidence has gone down.
Neil has
what
no
about
hair.
With a hat now?
Strauss has no hair.
He shaved that tuft that he had. That was a big part of his transformation into style in the book. They were like, I finally shaved the tuft off.
And
it's gone.
And yet you are continuing.
My mom insists that I have hair, and you just need a little haircut. Don't shave it all off.
Your mom is sure that this is all gonna switch course.
It's going to pan out someday. Yeah.
Your hair's going to start growing back. Okay.
Hey, regarding that pickup artist and, deceiving people, you really don't have to, as long as you live in the right, area or city. Mm-hmm. I mean, you live here, 915, you just got to tell women that you have no job or you're an entrepreneur. Tell them that you're a deadbeat dad, and, man, they just flock to you. Like, they're just attracted to dudes like that here. So yeah, I mean, that could be true. Or if you have a job, just tell them you don't have a job, and they'll come to you here.
What? Get out of here!
Sounds so salty.
You know what it is, guys? People with Riz. All right, if you have the Riz, it's easy to be a deadbeat.
Entrepreneurs and deadbeat dads and guys with no jobs that have the Riz.
And it doesn't matter.
This dude doesn't have the Riz. I'm sorry.
You need the Riz.
Well, can the Riz be taught, though, is the question.
Evidently it can.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break. Nico's back to doing the news.
Oh, yeah.
So Nico's going to have the news coming up here in just a few moments. And today's Earth Day, everybody. 1970.
Love our Earth.
April 22nd, 1970 was the first Earth Day, and we continue to celebrate Earth Day because we solved all the problems, right? The hole in the ozone, the rainforest, the global warming. I mean, I assume we wouldn't be celebrating unless we kind of checked off all those boxes.
And now it's time for another episode of 1 Minute Inside a Woman's Head.
Earth Day. And I have done so much for you this year, Earth. I've been rinsing out the Chinese food cartons to recycle the paper and... wait, doesn't all that rinsing waste water? Oh, but I have been reusing my bath towel twice instead of just using it once, so less water there. Well, until I thought my towels were musty and giving my skin towel stink. I drive less, saving gasoline and dangerous emissions. I even took the bus. Well, just one day. There was so much carbon monoxide belching out of it, I thought it was worse than taking my own car. Plus, many of the people riding on it had that second-day towel smell. Oh, hey, I know one. I got a solar porch light where I recycled about 20 guys with a peck on the cheek and a pat on the back after a bad date so they could move on to other women. Wow, I never thought of the effect my end-of-date shutdown has on others here on Earth. Making it a better world, one dumped guy at a time. You're welcome, Earth.
And that was another episode of 1 Minute Inside a Woman's Head.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to...
It's Warrants at UnderwoodTrialLawyers.com. Decades of experience available to you. Wyatt UnderwoodTrialLawyers.com.
El Paso's own live and local. The Buzz Adams Morning Show, 95.5 KLAQ.
We'll have another cash code PIN number coming up in less than an hour, and we're doing it every hour, and we're into the final week of Go Fund Yourself.
Buzz, I may need your help on something. I got a little problem here.
Sure.
It's all with this GoFundMe jazz. You know, my friends are all doing it. They said it was fun, so I thought I'd try it, and now I'm hooked on it. You know, I wake up promptly at 8:15, and I fund myself right away. And then it just sets it up for all day long, over and over and over. I'm funding myself again and again. But it's not just me. You know, I seen a guy in the park over there at Memorial Parks, under that little bridge. He was trying to fund himself with a rotary phone. It wasn't even plugged in.
That makes no sense.
Then I was on the I-10. I looked over and I seen a trucker. And he was trying to fund himself with a CB radio.
Well.
Breaker 19, this is the Thundering. Come back. You know, I just don't know what's going on. I went to my shrink, and he said, it's absolutely natural for a young man to fund himself. But I think you have mother issues. Yes, mother issues. So, you know, from there I went to the church, and the preacher told me, too much funding, my son, will make you go blind.
Yeah.
So go in peace and fund no more. So I don't know what to do, Buzz. I just don't know what to do. I feel better now trying to get this funding thing off my chest. You know, seriously, I need a rag. I've got funding all over my chest. Anyway, I'm just going to keep going with it. Keep on funding, everybody. It's not so bad.
Okay.
Bye.
Go fund yourself.
Let me just lay a few.
Right now, it's not the code, by the way. Just so anybody who was triggered by that,
We already
gave the 8 o'clock code.
All of these things you're hearing are old wives' tales and myths. You will definitely not go blind from funding yourself.
No, of course not.
The more you fund yourself, the better it is, actually.
Yeah. It's good for prostate health.
Especially if you win the $30,000, the top prize money you can win in Go Fund Yourself. Did you want to read some app chat messages, or did you want to put that off until later?
Yeah. Do you want me to read the messages right now? Because there's a couple of them.
Hit those real quick.
All right. We have a lot about the pickup artist line. Omar says Jason Statham doesn't have hair, and he gets all the ladies.
Yeah, but look at him.
I know, right? Joanna, Buzz and I were just in the hall right now, and we were talking about it, and it was like, would you rather be to pick up girls? What would be easier, to have my hair or his body? Like, what would you rather be, fat or balding?
Oh, I wouldn't trade for your body.
You said you would that you would rather have hair. You would rather have my hair than your body.
Yeah, but I was assuming my body would be in better shape than your body. If you're saying that I'm in the same shape as you,
he's like, oh hell no.
No. You nothing about the body changes. You get my hair, and no, not my body.
With your body,
you would be thin though.
You're not thin.
Oh, I'm way thinner than you, buddy.
Yeah, no, I didn't say you weren't thinner than me. I'm
look
just
like
saying you're
stick.
not thin.
I look like a stick compared
until you
to
take your shirt off and you got those long hus.
Oh my God.
Long hus.
Your
long hus.
What's there's a term for it. Like a skinny fat. Like a
otter?
Whatever, dude, whatever. You're fat. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but when you asked the question, I was like, oh, if I could be like have just like a great trim body, like a size 32 waist, yeah, I'd lose my hair for that.
I'm a 34.
Yeah, see, a little chubby.
You think 34 is chubby? What is wrong with you? Somebody else says just use the Donald Trump pickup line.
I'll give you $30,000 not to tell anybody. I'll give you $130,000 not to say a word of this. Don't worry, the check's good.
My favorite one comes from Claire. She said that she's driving her son to school right now, and her son says that I should be called the Rizzler. You just got to have that Riz, he said, speaking to the radio.
Okay.
There is no Riz around here.
Kids know about it, though. The kids know about the Riz.
The kids know about the Riz. All about the Riz. That's it.
Okay, back to news headlines?
Back to news headlines. Let's do it. The jury in Donald Trump's criminal hush money case will hear opening statements from prosecutors and defense attorneys today. The jury will likely hear testimony from the first witness in the case on Monday, but the name of that witness has not yet publicly been disclosed. You know why?
Because they're afraid that Jesse Waters and Donald Trump will sick all their crazy psychopathic followers on him.
That is exactly correct. The judge ruled last week that prosecutors do not have to release lists of witness names before they are called.
Honestly, the concern is so great that the defendant in this trial might say something that would identify the jury members in a way that would cause them distress or harm.
Mm-hmm. Which is kind of weird to think about in the case of a former president of the United States.
This is the kind of thing. This is like when they had to switch out the juries in, crud. What was the movie? The Untouchables. Do you remember?
The case about
Al Capone. Yeah, they were about to have the thing, and everybody was so afraid. And then at the last minute, they brought a different jury in and swapped out the juries. God, what if they untouchable Donald Trump during his trial?
It's funny that you're comparing him to Al Capone. I mean, also this week, a debate over homeless encampments familiar to many communities will be headed to the U.S. Supreme Court today, where justices will confront a rising tide of unhoused Americans and steps that cities are taking to address it. In City of Grants Pass versus Johnson, the nation's highest court is being asked to decide whether ticketing homeless people is patently unconstitutional, the most significant legal dispute over homelessness in America in more than 40 years.
Giving a ticket to a person for being homeless.
Yeah. Can you be like, you're homeless, illegal?
Yeah. When I don't pay the ticket,
what is going to happen?
Send a collections notice to my address.
Right. Oh, yeah. What are they going to do? How are you going to fill out the ticket?
Right.
Under address, tent.
I-10 overpass by Cotton. Yeah. How are you going to...
Maybe there should just be set-aside areas where people can put up a tent.
But that's what, like, L.A. kind of tried to do, and San Francisco, and it turned into, like, shanty towns.
Yeah, but we're in the desert. You could put it out in the middle of the desert. Nobody would be able
we could set up like a legit shanty town and not even worry about it.
Well, I mean, how many people do we really have sleeping out on the streets at night in El Paso?
El Paso?
Yeah. Now, across the country, I realize we do.
Right.
But I think most of the people that you see, you would identify, either panhandling on the street corner. I think they, for the most part, go someplace. Either a residence
or a shelter.
I've seen guys checking into a motel, like they collected enough for a day they could get a room.
Well, that might be here, but that's definitely not the case in places like San Francisco. I mean, there are definitely people that just are staying out on the streets all night long, all day long.
Also, what if you had a job and you just wanted to save on rent, so you just want to live in a tent out in the woods with a bunch of other like-minded individuals?
This is your like
my fellow free
your utopian dream of.
Yeah. I mean, rent or mortgage is your major monthly expense for most people.
Comrades, let us start a commune.
Get a tiny home. Haul out one of those tiny little log
they have
cabin
a nice little
things.
shed at Costco right now, and I almost wanted to buy it.
And then what if everybody got together and each person had a certain job that you had to do?
Well, then that's just called society.
Okay, yeah.
Homeless society.
And then, you share everything. Like, whatever you grow, everybody gets to share from.
That's a culture.
Okay, I want to mention that two of the things that many people experiencing homelessness have to deal with are mental illness, number one, and drug and alcohol addiction.
Well, they go together, but yes.
Yeah. So I just don't know if that's the basis for a long-lasting civilization, but it worked for Australia.
We just sent criminals there? It was a penal colony.
We didn't. England did, but we did. I don't know. I mean, what if you just wanted to keep to yourself, but there was somebody there who was schizophrenic or, out of their minds on some really bad narcotics?
Is ticketing them going to help?
No, because if they're homeless, first of all, I don't think they have a lot of money laid around to pay tickets. So the ticket's not going to get paid. And what are you going to do? You throw them in jail?
I do agree,
Are you going to go that far?
Like,
what does ticketing do?
In Seattle and places like San Francisco, the police do not make them move out of areas. Like, they could be just in places that are, like in front of your courthouses and your business centers. And that makes it
basically the places that they don't run you away from.
I kind of think they should be. I think
you think they should be.
I think police should have the ability to say, "Hey, move it along."
Nobody wants to go into an establishment if there's a guy out there and he's obviously been out on the streets for like a year or two.
It really brings down the
and that goes for the girl that's fake playing the violin outside of Best Buy too. You ever seen those?
The buskers? Oh, you mean the person that has a boombox?
Child? No, they have a child, and the child is playing a violin.
But really, a boombox is playing it.
Well, that's what I was told. It's a scam.
Yeah.
That it's just hey, my daughter's really gifted musician.
Have you heard about those cities also putting in anti-homeless art and benches and structures and stuff?
Like things that you can't lay on and get comfortable?
That have like sharp, rough edges to them.
Yes, I've heard about that.
I don't
know. Maybe deal with the mental health and drug addiction issues. It seems like that would almost be cheaper. Right?
In the long run, probably.
Yeah.
Just get all the hobos off the street.
Hobos.
Take them
like they're hitching trains. They got a bindle over their shoulder. Just... my grandfather on my father's side
was a hobo?
He did some hoboing. But this was like the 20s and the 30s. So
that was Red Skelton hoboing.
No.
Hoboing was kind of a thing.
Hoboing also
very fashionable.
You would jump on a train that you didn't have a ticket for, usually like a freight train.
Right.
But you would try and find work when you got to wherever the train was stopping. Okay. So that was the difference was you were hoboing, but many of the people were. Did you ever read? The Steinbeck novel
of Mice and Men. Grapes of Wrath.
Grapes of Wrath. It's all about people just going around trying to find whatever work they can. Americans going around trying to find whatever work they can.
Not as safe to do that these days, turns out.
Yeah.
It probably wasn't that safe back then. So anyway, homelessness continues to be a problem. We've not cracked that nut yet.
Just open Buzz's house up. All right. 2 strikes were launched on the southern Gaza town of Rafah, killing 22 people, including 18 children. And that's according to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry. At least one blast occurred at the Al-Shabora refugee camp in Rafah. And that's according to a spokesman for the Kuwait hospital. The hospital spokesperson told ABC News doctors were able to rescue an unborn baby whose mother was killed in the blast. The Israeli Defense Forces have confirmed the strikes themselves. Excuse me. All right. A block party that authorities say had between 200 and 300 people attending it in Memphis turned bloody on Saturday. 2 people were killed and 6 others injured when gunfire broke out. At least one of the injured people was still in critical condition early yesterday morning. No suspects are in custody, but police believe at least 2 people fired weapons in the incident. Authorities also say the party didn't have a permit. Lawyers for New York Attorney General Letitia James asked on Friday for Judge Arthur Engoron to reject former President Donald Trump's $175 million bond for his civil judgment and require him to post a new one within 7 days. James says Trump failed to demonstrate that Knight Specialty Insurance Company had the resources to pay the bond if Trump's appeal failed, among other complaints. Judge Engoron is scheduled to hold a hearing on the request today. And if you're doing the wrong kind of gardening, the Drug Enforcement Agency is looking for you. The DEA is investigating.
I've been through them over my poppies before.
You just throw some poppy bagel, like your poppy bagels, you just throw into some dirt.
No, I home grow the poppies so I can.
Yeah, where do you get your poppy seeds?
Seed store.
You're terrible at improv. John Lovitz was right about this.
Don't
say that to me.
Don't tell him that. You know that's a.
I know
that's
that.
a wound.
I know that cuts deep.
That is fresh. That is still a fresh wound.
That's great.
The DEA is investigating international criminal organizations that are currently running illegal marijuana grow facilities in around 20 United States. That includes Maine, where authorities say there are around 100 operations, like the one in Passamaquoddy, where officers found almost 40 pounds of processed marijuana. The owner of the house, a naturalized U.S. citizen born in China, was arraigned on Friday and ordered held without bail. His detention hearing is set for today. How did they catch him? Well, one big clue was the electric bill. After the man bought a home, the bill jumped from $300 per month to $9,000.
Wait, from what to $9,000?
$300 a month.
$300 to $9,000 because they had those indoor lamps, right?
Yeah, those really expensive electric lamps.
Have you? There's a movie about. You know what? It had Craig Ferguson in it. It was about having an indoor grow operation.
Hot Tub Time Machine?
No, it had Craig Ferguson in it.
Oh, not Craig Robinson.
Joanna, do you know the movie I'm referring to?
No, I don't. I need more info other than
Craig Ferguson.
Craig Ferguson in it.
It probably came out like in 99.
Okay.
Anyway, it was all about growing all the weed, but you had to do it indoors, and it was better anyway because they were in England, which is famously. I don't know if that's a good climate for growing weed or not.
Wait, are you talking about the Guy Ritchie movie that we watched with Jason Statham and they're all the grow houses?
Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels?
All the weed ops are underground?
No, that's the
Matthew McConaughey one.
That's the Matthew McConaughey one.
Ferguson.
No, this one was about
Movie. Saving Grace?
No.
That's what this says.
Does it say anything about no, that can't be it.
All right.
Somebody will text in.
Moving on. Last week, Tesla announced the recall of almost 4,000 Cybertrucks. Then they laid off 10% of their staff. And they saw their stock price fall below $150 per share, wiping out all the gains it's made this year.
What was the problem with the Cybertrucks? I heard that like
They're insane.
First of all, they look like a rest stop urinal to begin with.
That's not why they were recalled. Too many people have been peeing in our
the accelerator sticks.
Yes,
or
that's what
stick.
it was. Accelerator pedal citing soapy problem. Well, things are just getting worse and worse for them. Now the company is cutting the prices on its Models Y, X, and S vehicles by $2,000. That drops the starting price from a Model Y to $42,000, the Model S to $72,000, and the Model X to $77,000. Elon Musk posted to X Saturday and pointed out the cost of the entry-level Tesla Model Y was as low as $29,000 after a federal tax credit and gas savings were factored into the amount. The wild ride at Tesla may not be over for now. The company is set to announce its first quarter earnings tomorrow. And don't be like these two people. Kira Ender and Dakota Jones came up with a plan to get rich. They allegedly took two $50 lotto tickets and crudely put them together. That's according to the words of Escambia County Sheriff Chip Simmons. Then these two women tried to cash their Franken ticket in as a $1 million winner.
I haven't seen a photo of it, but they say that the first person they showed it to looked at him and was like, you got to do better than this.
They basically ripped apart two tickets and tried to tape them together.
Hold on. The Gentleman Bus? Does that ring a bell?
No, it is Saving Grace.
I told you.
Come
No,
on.
it's not.
No, it's not.
I'm sorry. What was your story, Nico? I was answering phones.
No problem. A Florida couple has been arrested for trying to cash in a fake lotto ticket. They got 2 lottery tickets and then taped them together
to make like a
Franken ticket.
Genius. I got to see this Franken ticket.
Didn't fool anybody.
It didn't fool anybody. The words on the back of the ticket didn't match up, and it had different serial numbers on both sides. Neither of the original tickets was a winner of any money, and as you might expect, they got nothing for their homemade fake except a trip to jail.
Let me see.
As Sheriff Simmons said, if you're going to try to
Give me a
claim,
picture of this lotto ticket.
if you're going to try and claim $1 million, you got to do better than this. You know, again,
At least make one of them a winner. God.
you're not a lottery winner. You're a criminal.
And it's got their mug shots, but I'm not seeing the. Maybe this is it.
The Franken ticket, right?
Well, Columbia University is trying to regain control over its campus in the midst of pro-Palestinian protests. Last week, 113 students were taken into custody after clashing with police officers. Meanwhile, a Columbia University rabbi urges Jewish students to go home and not return to campus after the Passover holiday, as it's not safe.
Just blow off the rest of the school year?
That's what one rabbi is saying.
Yeah.
This after one protester held up a sign saying the Israeli students waving Israel's flags while peacefully protesting should be the next targets of Hamas.
Now, whoever posted that, if they can identify him, they ought to be bounced out on their ear, right? Immediately for posting something like that.
So Representative Ilhan Omar's daughter is one of the protesters who's been suspended by Columbia University. And her daughter just recently posted saying she is homeless in New York.
Your mother is a U.S. congressperson. I'm sure you'll be fine.
The school is having all classes go virtual today as Passover starts. School President Minouche Shafiq, in a statement, says during the coming days, a working group of deans, university administrators, and faculty members will try to bring this crisis to a resolution.
Wait a minute. Are the pro-Palestinian protesters protesting peacefully? You said they clashed with police.
113 people were taken into custody.
Yeah, but but you could peacefully protest without it being a clash. You know what I mean?
It's not a peaceful protest. Just to allay your rest, the reason they were taken into custody, it was not peaceful on the Palestinian side. That includes discussions with student protesters and identifying actions that can be taken as a community to enable us to peacefully complete the term and return to respectful engagement with each other. I guess there's also pro-Israeli students waving Israel flags at certain protests. And it sounds like the anti-Israeli protesters
are saying we should get those guys. We should target them.
No, they were saying Hamas should target them next.
Oh, okay.
Which is almost as bad as saying that, right? Somehow
Hamas is at Columbia?
I think it was hyperbole to make a point. Somehow an unknown mutated drug-resistant bacteria made its way. This is my last story, by the way. Somehow, an unknown mutated drug-resistant bacteria made its way onto the International Space Station. A group of researchers took a closer look at bacterial strains on board the ISS and found that they had mutated to a different form that's different from their earthly counterparts.
This is how the world ends.
A new study says the bacteria in space.
They bring back the Spider-Man symbiote.
A new study says the bacteria in space becomes more resistant to treatment or drugs and thrives in microgravity.
Oh, great. There have to be some military applications for that, I'm sure.
Some of the organisms are helping other bacteria survive. So
that's
they're working
very
together.
Altruistic of them.
So now what? Well, it's not clear if the bacteria would harm us on Earth, but we may find out accidentally. The original bacteria hitched a ride on the astronauts up to the ISS over the years.
All right.
And with your news, I'm Nico.
So the biggest story was the approval of, was it around $85 billion in war aid to Ukraine, to Israel, to Taiwan, but also mixed up in that is the TikTok ban. And can't vote. There's no line item on this.
Got it. All or nothing.
So if this passes, the funding is going to get to our allies. But it looks like TikTok is going to be put on notice that they've either got to sell to an American company or an American-friendly country, or they'll be banned in the U.S. So I know there are a lot of people into their TikTok, and looks like the TikTok ban is one step closer to reality.
Hi, folks. It's President Biden, the president. And are you upset because TikTok's about to be banned? Well, never fear. There's an alternative. Introducing Joe Talk. It's like TikTok, but it's all about me, Joe Biden. Yes, it's video after video of me dancing. Videos of me tripping and falling. Hilarious. Want videos of me eating ice cream? It's all on Joe Talk. You there. Check out this video on Joe Talk.
That's just you smelling some random girl's hair.
Yes, sir. That's the viral content everybody's looking for. Plus, I've got all sorts of speeches of mine available for viewing on TikTok.
You're just rambling about some guy named Corn Pop?
Yep, he's a bad dude. So forget about TikTok and download new Joe Talk. It's the best video app on the interwebs. Download it today with the thing, man.
Artist interviews, Zoom music discoveries, celebrating artists' birthdays, commemorating releases, champion of all things rock.
Treatments in a state-of-the-art the El Paso Children's Hospital Spirit debit card and make every purchase have a purpose.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show, courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Enderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
We've got one final pair of tickets for ZZ Top.
Hey!
Tonight, Abraham Chavez Theater, your chance to see ZZ Top.
And hang out in LaGrange.
Well, you got to remain in your seat for the most part. But, yeah. I got a simple question that any ZZ Top fan ought to be able to knock out of the park without having to resort to Googling.
What does the Z stand for?
Interesting story. The band named themselves after two blues artists.
One was named ZZ.
It went by his first initials were ZZ.
And the other one was Top?
I guess so. That's the way that I've heard it anyway. Give us a call, and we'll get caller number 10 on the air with us, 915-910-4995. That's 915-910-4995. And this will be an insult how easy this question is for ZZ Top fans, but it is our last pair of tickets. I wanted to give them away to somebody who's a fan. Well, Joanna's doing that. Did you have anything you want to promote this week? Are you doing bingo? Or are you doing open mics?
Yeah, all of those things. I have bingo on Wednesday. I have tomorrow trivia at Scenics Bar Kitchen, and open mics all across the board. Just go to laughnights.com, LAUGHNITES.com. I just saw the Deadpool 3 trailer.
Is that a new trailer? Because I saw the one that came out.
Yeah, it's the brand new. It shows it's like all about Wolverine and Deadpool together. Like, so they showed Hugh Jackman's lines. I mean, it's much more of an in-depth trailer.
Oh, okay.
Than before.
Now, what's it going to be on July, right?
Yes. People were wondering if you were going to do a breakdown of it. I just saw it. There is too many F-bombs.
To do any kind of on-air breakdown.
Yeah, there's too many F-bombs to really do it. But it is... honestly, awesome. Like chills. I got chills from watching it.
Oh, they've got my money in their pocket already.
It looks amazing. It's classic. It's going to be like all the other Deadpool movies. You should do some type of, maybe for the AfterBuzz we can talk about it.
How do people do these trailer breakdowns if you're not allowed to play the audio from the trailer?
You mean like on YouTube and other things?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because we're not supposed to use any outside audio.
Right, but that we don't have the rights to.
Unless it's royalty free. I think we might have a contestant here. Okay. We have a contestant ready to go. If we're able to get a winner, just make sure you know you got to pick these tickets up no later than 5 p.m. because they're here at the office. They're actually here, and we don't have time to get them out to you.
Cold blues still, I had a blues man on the back and he petition at the wheel.
Hey, George.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, George. I have a very, what I think of as a simple question about ZZ Top.
Okay, I hope so.
I mean, are you a ZZ Top fan?
I am.
All right. You got 5 seconds. Any longer than 5 seconds, and I suspect you're
not a fan.
You may not know this, but the 3 members of ZZ Top all came together to form the band in 1969. It's an interesting story how they all got together, but I'll leave that for you to look up on your own. Really interesting story. Nearly 52 years. The longest stretch for any band in popular music to have the same lineup. Now, I know some people are going to say, well, how about the Rolling Stones? They're out there. No. I mean, all of the members are exactly the same members. I'm not talking about a couple or half of the band. They have been the longest band with the same lineup. So, George, my question for you is, can you name the 3 original members of ZZ Top?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've known him for a long time, since I was a kid. Billy Gibbons. In fact, my son got to meet him.
Mm-hmm.
Dusty Hill, who just passed away, rest in peace. And, of course, the guy with no beard, Frank Beard.
Boy, I could not have said it better myself. That's great. Boy, I'm glad you got these tickets, George. Now,
Yeah, how awesome.
yeah, I just want to stress again, though, they're here. You need to get them by 5. That's when the office closes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, George. Fantastic.
Yeah, congrats,
We got to
man.
get a little bit. We got to get a little bit more
yeah,
information from you. Hang tight.
You
Well
got
done.
Awesome, man. Congrats, man. That's badass.
Dusty passed away in 2020. Dusty Hill passed away. They have Billy's longtime guitar tech, a guy named Elwood Francis, who's playing bass, but it's still Billy Gibbons and Frank Beard back there pounding on the skins.
We have a lot of people letting us know some corrections for you. That ZZ Top did not get their name from whatever you said. That they got their name.
Corrections and retractions.
ZZ Top got their name from the rolling papers, Zigzag and Top, the 2 most popular brands.
Now, have you looked up to see if there are any other sources than
Nope.
than
Other
that?
than the fact that several people have called it. Here's some audio.
Hold on a second. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. ZZ Top is for rolling paper, Zigzag and Top rolling paper. Have a great day. Peace out.
Oh, that's much cooler than what you said, Buzz.
Oh, you know what who I think I got confused in?
Oh.
That is. Let me see here. ZZ Top Wikipedia. Gibbons, particularly known as B.B. King and Z.Z. Hill, who were these blues artists, and thought about combining the 2 into Z.Z. King. Everybody's heard of B.B. King, but maybe not as many people have heard of Z.Z. Hill, but considered it too similar to the original name. Oh, he was worried that Z.Z. King would be confused with B.B. King. Then he figured out the King is at the top, which gave him the idea of naming the band ZZ Top.
Oh, there you go. So it's not the ZZ. So maybe that's more of the urban legend or urban myth about it.
I'm not claiming any kind of authority on the subject, but I think the deal about a band named after 2 old blues artists was Pink Floyd. So it was a combination of some blues guy.
Pink Flamingo?
Pink. You know what? At this point, I could be wrong about the whole
everything.
Every single part of it. Do we have time to take any calls? Or are we going to be out of time?
No, we're out.
Oh, that's too bad because we had a call about Earth Day.
Good morning, Mo Show. Hey, I was wondering if you could tell me, since it's Earth Day, do you know of any community?
Hold on a second. We're still playing the ZZ Top in the background.
Good morning, Mo Show. Hey, I was wondering if you could tell me, since it's Earth Day, do you know of any community mobile shredding events going on today? Let me know. Thanks.
Bro, I totally know where there's some mobile shredding going on. Album Skate Park over by Album Park, and also that concrete ditch off Mesa at De Leon. Some massive shredding there.
Right.
So go over there. Some public mass shredding is going to go down. Cowabunga.
All right, Michelangelo.
Oh my God, breaking news.
What?
Buzz, you were correct in the ZZ Top name.
Well,
our boss is in here saying that you were correct.
Thank you for actually having confirmation. Buzz went into the Wikipedia and found the exact origin story for it.
I don't know though. I kind of prefer the rolling paper. ZZ for zigzags. But I've never heard of top.
Never heard of top?
I've heard of those. Are those rolling papers?
They are.
No,
they're the tops, man.
No, are you for real?
Yes.
That's a much better origin story, regardless of what's true. We got to wrap up, guys.
Oh, we should have before our boss even got in.
Yeah. It's really on him at this point, isn't it? Happy Earth Day, everyone.
Happy Earth Day. We'd like to say thanks to Mother Earth. We are so happy and gay. Thanks for things like coal to burn, plutonium to make our enemies squirm, crude oil to make our engines run, and cancer-causing rays that we get from the sun.
All natural.
Thanks for things like sharks and bears, chemicals to make plastic Tupperware. Thanks for icebergs that cause big ships to wreck, and gold to hang around gang members' necks. Thanks for rattlesnakes and the killer flu. Thank you, Mother Earth, 'cause we sure love you.
That's the show for today.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show will be back tomorrow at 6 a.m.
See you tomorrow, okay? Okay, bye-bye.
In the meantime,